So one of the biggest factors is, so we've got, you know, like we've done all this training, we're flying along, we've you know, like we've committed, we've got our fueling right. How do I handle my bike is a massive one, you know, like. So what I would say for a lot of people it is, like, and where, especially like time trialists and triathletes are making mistakes, is looking down at the floor. They spent all winter on the turbo trainer and they're looking down here, where a great time trialist, if you ever look at the best in the world, they're never ever looking down at the floor. They're always looking forwards at 45 degrees. So number one, seeing 200 yards up the road is a key point. And then what we've got, like potholes, we've got people, we've got cars, and then we've got corners. And the biggest one that most people struggle with, how do I get out of a corner? So many people make mistakes with this. So number one, before I even reach the corner, I want to gear down. Like, I never ever want to come out of the gear that I've gone into the corner with. And loads of people do this, you know, like they're grinding out these gears and they come to a standstill. And then a lot of people overshoot the corner because they've been looking down at the floor and they're not looking where they're going. And when they come into the corner, they make this mistake of looking into the corner rather than where they want to come out of the corner. And what that generally means is when they look into the corner, then they look up, they slam on the brakes, and they crash and come off. To be good on the bike, you always want to look at the corner that you're going to come out of it. And a great tip that I found like works like really well for most people is when you're guiding yourself, say if we're doing a left-hander here, you want to guide the outside leg to the left, and then you want to guide the inside leg into, you know, like the leg that's leaning, so your right leg into the top tube, and then it will give you stability over the bike. So as you come out of that corner, you want to relax your elbows. So it's not like I'm going into it like this. You want to relax into it and then you guide the bike through. But a lot of people make this mistake. They're so tense, so they're like this. They're looking into the corner and that's when you'll crash. But if you guide the bike into it, so relax there and you guide yourself out of it. Then I'm on top of the gear. So, you know, like I've got this nice acceleration that I can get out of it. And the biggest one, again, so how do I descend? This is what people really struggle with. So number one, having the right wheel can affect this quite a bit. So if you know, like you've got an unstable wheel, or you're riding your bike like quite rigid, you know, like you know, like you're gripping on for dear death, then again, you are gonna, the potential is you're gonna get to a corner, you're gonna slam on, and you're gonna come off, and it's gonna catapult you. But again, what we want to do is relax into the bike. And one of a good option is, it's like, where do I stabilise myself like on like the saddle? I obviously see like the best in the world, you know, they're sitting on the top tube, they're doing all this crazy stuff. But what you probably want to do then is push your back self into the saddle. But then a great tip is if you kick your heels down, it'll give you stability like over the rear wheel. So that's the top tip, but also just relaxing like your forearms rather than being really tense. Like if you're on the tri-bars, it's different to being like here, but a lot of people who like ride really rigid, you just got to relax like those forearms. So you're trying to almost like drop your wrist and your elbow into like the base bar more. Or if you, like a lot of the new bikes now, they're actually coming with a higher base bar. So the idea behind that is then you can relax onto it and that'll give you a lot more stability. But again, kicking your bum back into the saddle, pushing it so it's planted, and then you can kick your heels back, and then that'll just give you a lot more control over the bike, rather than moving forwards, being like, you know, like you're rigid like here, that's when you're gonna crash. So that's a top tip for like descending. But you know, like the biggest thing is always looking forward, always at 45 degrees, then you can just see. And all you youngsters that are, like you're riding like this, looking at the floor, it's not even aerodynamic. And because you'll get separation around like your helmet. It's going to be more prone to like crashing and hitting cars. So always dropping that head. We call it like this turtle position if you're on like your time trial bike, where you drop your chin into it and then you push it forwards. Rather, it's never like this. So they're my top tips.